presentation on the very widely discussed topic, poverty. Before I get into the topic, let me brief you on what's going on. Around 20,000 people die each year due to starvation and starvation-related diseases. Every 3.2 seconds, a child dies, mostly under the age of 5. The world's population is 6.8 billion. Out of this, 5 billion are living under poverty and 1 billion are starving. What is poverty? Poverty is a basic necessity that every human being needs. For example, food, water, shelter, security, education, etc. Poverty is a multi-dimensional issue. It affects many sectors in society. It affects the youth, the middle-aged, and the elderly. It exceeds all economic, social, and political boundaries. Next slide, please. Next slide. Here are some signs that alert you on the presence of poverty. There's poor education, inadequate nourishment, no access to clean drinking water, poor sanitation, unemployment, poor housing, insufficient food, poor health, inadequate clothing, and vulnerability. Around 4.4 billion people are still living in developing countries. Out of this, 3/5 have lack of basic sanitation. One third of these have no access to clean drinking water. 1/4 lack adequate housing, and 1/5 have no access to modern healthcare services. The question that arises is why? To answer the question, I hand over to Jain.
Now, why does poverty take place? One is gender discrimination. Women face high amount of malnutrition than men because they have special nutrition needs. Women also receive lower wages than men. Women also receive lower wages than men Okay. Now, what is conflicts and political instability? Political instability leads to a depletion of resources. Food supplies are robbed and used as instruments of war. Crop cycles are interrupted. And seeds are breeding livestock to consume in desperation, and children suffer permanent damage as a result of insufficient food. What are the effects of hunger? One is chronic hunger, infections, economic growth, and infant mortality. Chronic hunger. Chronic hunger happens when there is lack of insufficient food which are safe and that help for normal growth. Next is infections. Infections cause lack of appetite, which leads to which decreases immunity for fighting diseases. Next, infant mortality. Malnourished women are more likely to be sick. They give birth to smaller babies. That die early. This results in high level infant mortality in that particular area. Now, population consumption and the environment. The increase in population causes increase in consumption. So, the environment has to deal with this problem. Therefore, Policymakers must reshape policies for poor people and reduce population growth, decreasing the consumption of renewable resources and protection of the environment. Now I ask Joshi to say more about the causes of poverty.
Now I'm going to get the causes of poverty. How can we help? By raising funds, by having a loan, and then by having a cake sale, having a talent show at school, and many more. Next slide. Now we get the percentage of people living below the poverty line. Europe and Central Asia 3.5%, Latin America and Caribbean 23.5%, Sub-Saharan Africa 38.5%, Middle East and North Africa 4.1%, South Asia 43.1%. Next slide. These are some causes of third world poverty. Great. Third world countries, they often deal with the problem because of the unfair trade agreement. They lack in communication and transport system. Next is war and globalization. All the MNCs generally pick up a country which is low cost, so that but there are jobs but they are low pay. Next is war or conflict. Whenever there is a war or conflict in a country, the basic service of the country go fail, and then there is a disturbance in the services which leads to crop failure. Poor education leads to low paid job or no job, less money for food education, housing, healthcare, which at the end leads to poverty. Next slide. The amount of money now the amount